Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. In this video, I want to talk about the privacy factor in regards to narcissistic abuse, or basically the lack thereof privacy that is typically extended from the narcissist to their supply. This is on all types of levels. We can talk about it in the family dynamic, because that's typically where most of our experiences with narcissism is rooted, And as I've grown up in a narcissistic household, I can recall all types of ways that my privacy was exploited, and violated. And growing up, I was never allowed to make phone calls on my own. And I grew up the scapegoat child, although in my situation it was weird. People would think I was the golden child because I played basketball and I was very notable in my community for that, and like player of the year and winning all types of awards. So, my narcissistic stepfather, he was proud to get the supply and the admiration of, oh, your daughter, she's, a great athlete. Oh man, the colleges are recruiting her and, going to the championship games and being the star player of the team. And, he was happy to suck up that supply that came with that. But behind closed doors, I was treated as the scapegoat child. I was treated like a Cinderella, basically. I was the only one who had to do chores. So I had to do all the chores in the household until I went off to college. And, I just had to carry so much responsibilities, and that really primed me to be this codependent and a fixer and taking on people's problems and feeling like my worth came from doing with others. But I don't want to digress into those aspects of the situation. This video is talking about the privacy. But yes, behind the scenes, I couldn't have phone calls without him listening. Now, this was back in the day, quote unquote, before we became this cellular civilization where 8-year-olds are walking around with cell phones. Back then, we had payphones, okay? We had landlines, and this is how people communicated with one another, okay? So I'm 36 years old, so I'm not 100 years old. I ain't saying all of that. But yes, back then it was a simpler time. So when people, my girlfriends and the college coaches, whoever called me, he had to listen to every word. And, it was weird. And you're laughing too much, or what are you talking about? Like, there was absolutely no privacy, no boundaries for that. And, it was just quite interesting. But with my sisters being the golden child, when I left for college, they got phones put in their rooms. And my one sister ran up the phone bill calling the psychic hotline, and my other sister was calling guys from jail. Like, they took that. He gave the leeway to the ones that couldn't handle it, and he restricted it from me, who would have just been responsible with the line, who was getting phone calls for scholarships and stuff. So it was quite interesting, how that played out. But yeah, there was no privacy, and there was no privacy about what went on in the household, The second I did something that he didn't like, or he thought I was in the wrong, he was on the phone calling multiple people in the family. They always knew what was going on, negative or positive. They just knew all of my business, so to speak. He wasn't doing it for himself, but, for me, yes, all of my business was quickly out there, And family members would come up to me and talk to me about this and that. He already knew. I thought at the time perhaps he was just a person that couldn't hold secrets, but this was just a part of his personality disorder and smearing my name and, keeping a certain image. I remember one time playing on, in my high school basketball team, my coach was like, "That's why your own father doesn't like you." He was talking about my stepfather. And it's like, whoa, when were they talking about me negatively behind my back? Because I believe my coach was a narcissist as well. Like, your girl couldn't catch a break. But, and he used that to try to fuel me on the court, to get me to go harder or to tap into my emotions. He was one of those type of coaches that used what someone might call verbal abuse or aggression to motivate his players to, quote unquote, get their act right, get their mind right in a game, and so to speak. But, yet again, that is an example of how the privacy and the boundaries were blurred there. Like, what are you talking to my coach about that he would feel comfortable to blurt this out in the middle of a game to me and let it be known, hey, I know this and that. But just to make that statement, insinuates it, So there was just no boundaries with that. And what happens is, of course, this primes you later on in life to replay and relive these situations as they weren't mended through your adult relationships. So now you're actually gravitating towards and attracting other people who will continue to violate your privacy. So we know when the narcissist meets us, they want to be all up in your business and they want to keep you far away from theirs. But because you've been primed as a child, it doesn't feel that awkward to you. I know with my first ex-husband, he had me trained to the point where if I was 5 minutes coming home later than usual, I came in with an excuse. Like, I could have went to the corner store. I could have got caught at a red light that I usually don't, But if any type of changes happen in my patterns, he didn't even have to ask me. After some time, I knew I had to report that back to him. So these are the type of, what would I call it? Basically as a result of being primed in that way, these are the type of behaviors that are outcomes of experiencing those, I wouldn't even call it a blurred line, just no boundaries when it comes to the privacy aspect of things, he had all my passcodes, and I'm on my marriage at this point. He had all the passcodes to all my things, and yet I didn't have nothing to hide, but it was for negative reasons. He didn't trust me because he was doing things, and it's hard when people are doing their own dirt. It's hard to, they're waiting for that karma to come back around and whatnot. So, I definitely experienced that, but I wanted to make this video to just talk about, that privacy factor and how it plays out, as we move out of our childhood into our adult relationships, because it's definitely a real thing. So, but know that it's a one-sided thing, and they want you to be, and they want to be all up in your mix, all up in your business, and they try to hide as much as they can, or they tell you as a need to know basis, or whatever they think will benefit them in getting the supply. Now, of course, if they feel like giving you these sob stories from their past, which may or may not even be true, actually, they're going to tell you their business on that level, the ones that are professional victims. But, I want to make this video to focus more so on you, the survivor, and understanding how this plays out with you, because now you may be a person that don't understand your boundaries of privacy. And what would this lead to? This would lead to you disclosing personal information to people on the first day you meet them, telling them your whole life story and just all your vulnerabilities, because you've spent your whole life not really having the examples of keeping your privacy or having your privacy respected, and now it's just a free-for-all. And now we're in that the type of society where we have social media and people are just posting all their business out there and different things like that. And a lot of those people, of course, are the attention seekers, but some people actually don't know where their privacy begins and their public, what they want to let the public know starts. It's just all running together there. So, just think about your privacy and the things that you hold dear to you and the things that you've gone through. And I've, sprinkled this here and there where I've addressed viewer questions where someone asked me, hey, should I tell my new romantic partner about the narcissistic abuse that I went through? And you can watch that video to see my response to that. But I told them, no, it's none of their business, to know that, how someone ran over you and abused you and you got less than, because that's not who you are now. And you're putting, you've transformed. So what they need to know now is what is important to you right now, what you will and will not accept right now, what your boundaries are right now. But, telling them all your vulnerabilities and how someone did stuff to you only actually opens the window up for them to look at you in a weaker sense and to think of, oh, well, if that person got away with doing this to you, then hey, maybe I'll do it too. Oh, that triggered you. Okay, I'll put that in my back pocket, because you don't know early on if this person is healthy or unhealthy, and they're gathering information that they could use to hurt you. So, you got to take your time with people. And it's nothing wrong with wanting to lead a private life. What the narcissist is doing and being a private person are two different things. They're omitting relevant information. They're actually telling literal lies to manipulate situations to, work out their agendas. That's completely different from a person who's just a private person and they take their time with people and maybe they gradually reveal this or that they want or feel like they should be revealing, but it's not in a malicious sense where it's just disregard for this other person, or setting them up, or in some type of con artist type of fashion. Okay, but I just felt it important to start to address the privacy aspect of things, because that's something that you may struggle with, and some of you may have went to the other end of the spectrum where you just don't want to tell anybody anything about yourself, like you're just completely closed in. That just means that you're in that part of the healing process where, you're working on yourself, and it's okay to stay to yourself for some time, but we don't want to become hermits. And isolation, while it's beneficial at certain times and seasons in our lives, God did not put us on this earth to be isolated forever or for the rest of your life after narcissistic abuse, because He works through people, as you can see. Good and bad, when you have that wrong person in your life, yes, He will let those offenses be caused so that you can get upset and to the point where you will remove yourself out of that situation. And He knows the kind of offense that needs to occur to get you to do that. And the more stubborn you are, the higher and harder that offense will have to be, guys. But I don't want to digress again. But just, take some time to think about how privacy is, how you deal with that in your life, and if you need to have better boundaries with that, or if you need to relax a little bit with that, and, just seeing and understanding how it relates to you in your life, okay? I definitely... I make videos to help you with your shadow work and just give you some food for thoughts here, okay? So if this video resonates with you, go ahead and hit the like button. If you have not done so, please feel free to subscribe to my channel. Make sure that you're hitting the bell so that you get notified when I do upload videos. And you're definitely free to share any and all of them. I do offer coaching, guys, and I do it over the phone. I do FaceTime, I do Skype, and I do email sessions as well. If you need help doing your shadow work, if you need help healing from your narcissistic relationship, if there's just things that you just aren't able to connect the dots, and I do have over 300 videos here uploaded on this channel. And you know, if you still need that extra help, that one-on-one specific help, coaching is a beautiful thing. Therapy definitely took my healing to the next level, and I highly recommend it to basically all survivors of narcissistic abuse. But just make sure you're getting it from someone who really understands narcissism and narcissistic abuse, okay? And of course, I've been there and done that, so I certainly understand. And I have books, guys, on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles that will help you also through the shadow work and the healing process for those of you who may not be able to afford therapy, or just for you that want to add some extra things in the midst. I do recommend that you read those books in order: The X Factor Volume 1, The X Factor Volume 2, and The Beauty of the Eye. And then for those of you who have experienced sexual abuse, I did write a book called Silent Tears that goes beyond the statistics that you will find in the doctor's office, and it's just going to help you with your emotional being and your psyche. There's a lot of exercises within there just to help you through that healing process as well, guys. All right. So until next time, please take care, and thank you. Thank you to those of you who have donated to the channel. I'm trying to remember to plug this in. You're always welcome to donate to the channel, big or small. Those links are under almost all of my videos at this point. Okay, and we do PayPal and Cash App for that. And I have the Facebook group, guys, Lakia Reflection and Progression Crawford. Just inbox me and let me know that you're a survivor, because I have like 500 requests, and I only want survivors to be a part of that community. All right, guys? So until next time, keep doing the work, stay uplifted. I have a motivational playlist, guys, just for survivors of narcissistic abuse, and I believe there's about 40 videos in there now. So if you're having a rough day, if you're feeling triggered, you can always go to that playlist, guys, and listen to those videos to uplift you. And I have all other kinds of playlists as well to help you if you want to focus or, you know, educate yourself further on specific topics in regards to narcissistic abuse. You know, lots of tools, lots of resources out there. There's a big community of help. You're definitely not alone. And, you know, just never feel that way. All right? Your life is not over, and you're going to get through this. So until next time, guys, please take care.